Day, good day, good day. How you doing, bro?
Chilling, blessed and feeling good.
There we go. Same. We live. We just gonna leave some time for some of our people to get in here. People who normally come in and watch. I go live on. I actually join. I always join a live from a coaching page, so that way I can deal with comments.
Right.
See who's coming in. Marcus, what up?
First of all, before we start, man, I want to say thank you for having me on this platform, though, man. I think it's a positive thing what you're doing, and I really appreciate that. My name came up when you thought of this campaign, so appreciate that, bro.
No problem, man. Hey, listen, we got to give kudos to Monique too.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I called Monique like, yo, what a good brother. She was like, bro, Eric. I was like, oh, yeah, cool. So,
Yeah,
straight to the point. Let me hit him up.
that's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, big
Mo's,
thanks to her too.
Mo's an
She always
incredible,
looking out.
incredible human being, man. I love Monique
Hmm.
for Peoples. All right, for those who are here, we're just going to get started. Chris, I see you in here. This is the Heal Me campaign. Brotherly conversations with Nightly during the month of May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month. I speak with other African American men about challenges and difficulties that they face and how they've essentially come through it to get back to a place of peace, power, and purpose. I started this because in 2019, I wrote a song entitled Heal Me, featuring Grammy nominated artist Raheem Devon. And the song talks about how my father raised me and inadvertently taught me some very unhealthy coping mechanisms for dealing with pain and adversity. And so our goal tonight, or our goal for this month, has been to talk to other African American men who have had what I would like to call a Job moment, or who have been pushed at one point to their breaking point, but essentially been able to come through that moment and walk with a sense of confidence, power, and purpose after that. A good friend of mine, Kariga Baylor, we always say that when faith has been tested and death has been dealt with, then you move different. And so we're here to talk to the brothers who move different. Um, our guest for tonight is Eric Gerard. Eric, tell us who you are, what you got going on, how we find you, how we support you, follow you, etc. How can we love you?
So yeah, like you said, I'm Eric Gerard, hip hop artist from the DMV, DCPG side. Been doing music since I can remember, since a teenager. Released probably like 5 projects. I got on all streaming platforms right now. You can reach me on IG at Eric ERIK underscore JERROD. And everywhere else, you can just reach me. Just type in Eric Gerard, Google me, and everything will pop up for me.
Google the brother, y'all. Google the brother. For real, for real. I love that feeling too, to be able to Google and it pop up. So y'all Google Eric Gerard, man, and find out more about him. Once again, Eric, we thank you for agreeing to be a part of this.
Thank
We're
you.
gonna have a good time tonight. For those who are here, let me go ahead and tell you how our schedule looks for the night. So we always first start with icebreaker in a sense. We listen to the song "Heal Me," and then I guess Eric, you won't necessarily give us. You won't give us your review of the song, but what you will give us is how you connect to the story that's outlined in the song.
Okay.
After that, we'll get right into your story, Eric. I'll ask you, I'll say, what broke you? And if that's fitting for you, if that fits your story, then we'll move forward. If not, then we can just reframe that as, describe a difficult time that you went through. We'll get into your coping mechanisms, things that you did during that time, whether healthy or unhealthy, to deal with what you were going through. And then we'll get into your transition, right? What allowed you to start to move to a place of healing. And then we'll talk about the strategies that you put in place to get there, and then how you maintain now. Like, what's your daily practice to make sure you maintain your peace, your power, and your purpose. So if you don't have any questions, I do want to tell our audience, shout out to the two organizations that have been helping me this month to get this done. We have one more night this month. It's tomorrow night. So we've done our due diligence to have a successful month, and we thank everybody, all of our people who have been tapping in and watching these lives and supporting the brothers. For those who are here tonight, you can be a part of the conversation. We are streaming live from Restream, so we're not necessarily on Instagram to see all of your comments and respond. But what we also think is healthy is that you all are having open dialogue in the comments with each other about some of the stuff that you hear us saying. Right, allow the conversation uh, in the comments to be an additive to the environment for those who are tapped in. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna start with the song "Heal Me" featuring Ryan Devon. Yeah. This is my prayer. You see, my father never talked too much. Just that look in his eyes, deep stares out the window, told me that life was simple. But I would never know what he would never reveal. That sharp look in his face was pain he would conceal. He inadvertently taught me that real men don't feel. So don't follow your heart. Use it to advance your cause, but always follow your thoughts and make a smart decision. You should barely apologize and never ask permission. And when the world does a thing to try to break you down, don't tell a soul. They waiting just to take your crown. Your woman gon' think you weak if you express your pain. Your men gon' say you sweet, though they be feeling the same. So get a vice, couple Hennessy, cigarette, live your life. Whatever you gotta do to get sleep at night. Cause for the longest you probably ain't sleeping right. Or even slept at all. When God calls, don't fight it, take a sigh of relief. That you ain't gotta live no more in this grief. Yeah, the cruel world that we living in is hard and cold. You ain't a man till it scars your soul. Straight up, so don't ever express your feelings. Sit in silence. Cause the only feelings you get are anger, hate, and violence. But see, the system got a process and a plan for that. Time is the only thing you got, so never hand them that. So if you ever truly feel like you about to break, get you a pencil and a notebook, let your mind escape. Writing is the only place where we can feel free. After he died, I read his notebook, he wrote, "Heal me. Heal me, yeah. Heal me. Father, don't nobody understand me. I won't make it out unless you come down and heal me. Yeah. Heal me. They don't know the pain I've been going through. I call on your name cause I know that you can heal me. Was he really that strong? Or just putting up a front? Did death come too soon? Or was it something he wanted? After 66 hard years of hiding them tears, did he get a reward? Well, let me make this clear that I think his vice got him. The thing he used to cope with life just took the life out of him. Them cigarettes that he would smoke on all them stressful days. But we still had a few good days, and I knew, cause he would smoke one or two, but otherwise a pack. I used to ask him not to smoke again, but what I should have said was breathe, pop, don't hold it in. We do yoga to get peace these days, but them Carolina preachers didn't teach these ways. It was suffer and survive. If you don't get your blessings in this life, if you tired, you can get them when you die. He used to hit that cigarette and play too much. That he got cancer and ain't say too much. He said, heal me. Oh, heal me. Yo, Eric, tap in for us, man. As a
Wow.
black man in America, how do you relate?
Wow. Man, it sounds like me and you had the same story, man.
Mm,
Cause my dad is, I mean, my dad's still living, but my dad is like quote unquote a man's man and all that stuff he was talking about. Don't, hide your feelings and stuff like that. I think a lot of black men from that era are just grew up like that. Like, don't let nobody see you crying. Don't show no emotion. Like, be a man. Like, man up. Yeah, man. That's a deep song, man, and I can definitely relate to it.
yeah. I think I was talking to a brother, the brother I was talking to yesterday, we were talking about just that posture of how manhood was defined in a way of like,
Yeah.
you shut up to a certain extent, like you shut up and bear your cross. Especially, me being from the South too, like that was really a thing. Like you shut up and bear your cross. We all gotta suffer. Jesus had to suffer. Don't you gotta suffer?
Right.
That was kind of like the thought process. Jesus had to suffer, so you gotta suffer. Bear your cross.
Yeah.
Uh, but one of the reasons for me even doing this Heal Me campaign, in the sense you can relate, is, especially in the country in North Carolina where I'm from,
Hmm.
was watching the women outlive the men. And you might be like, well, why are the men dying? And you might allow yourself to say, well, these things run in my family. And sometimes things do be genetic. But I was watching the men die from alcohol and from
Wow.
cigarettes
Yep.
and from stress. And that
Coping
was
mechanism. They're
cope.
using that stuff to cope. Yep.
And that's why I said in the song, the thing he used to cope with life just took the life out of him.
Hmm.
I mean, them cigarettes could help him find peace in the moment, but
Yep.
they would ultimately be his demise. Um, let's jump right into it, man. Thank you for being here once again. We're gonna jump right into your
You.
story. Like I said, I'm gonna ask you this question: what broke you? And if that fits for you, good. If not, then we
Uh,
can transition. But what was the breaking point for you, or most difficult point for you as a man?
I don't think there were a couple breaking points. Like I told you a couple weeks ago, I'm the only male on my mom's side, so I was the only grandchild for like 10 years. So my mom didn't re. I mean, she remarried, ended up getting a divorce. My grandmother, um, her husband passed away. My aunt, she never married, and back in 2005, my sister, who my mom had through another marriage, she passed away suddenly. She drowned in a swimming pool, and that's when I had to stand up and kind of like be that crutch for the whole family. Especially me being the only male in the whole family. Um, like I had to view my sister's body, and because nobody else could do it, it just was. And you talking about a kid that's like 22 years old, 22, 23 years old, and for me to having to man up like at a moment's notice like that, it's like wow, it was super stressful. Um, I don't know how I got through it, but eventually I did. But then there was a period of depression after that. One because not only I lost my sister, but just seeing my mom. She lost a child, and ever since that day, she's still not the same. She's better, but you know, once you lose a child, life will never be the same. And just having to see her go through that, it just yeah, it broke me.
Hmm. Describe like, because you said you went through a depression after that, and I'm thinking, describe like describe what you were going through if you can for us. Like what was going through your head, what emotions were you feeling like, especially having to wear the weight of that. How were you dealing with that at the time?
Um, I didn't really tell anybody. Like you said in the song, we as men, we feel like we're seen as weak if we show emotion. So a lot of that stuff I just kept in. And then, the girl I was dating at the time, and then a couple months later, we ended up breaking up, and it got really bad for me. And then I was in the military at the time, so I was stationed in North Carolina, in
Mm.
Goldsboro, North Carolina. So I didn't have any of my family. I went back to my base. I didn't have any family. I didn't really have any friends. So I just was down there kind of like alone, kind of having to man up on my own, and it just caused me to be depressed, man.
Now, being in the military, did that structure kind of help you during that time, or did you find yourself like that didn't matter? Did you find yourself, you know, developing habits to cope with it?
No, it was kind of like, and this was during wartime, so I think like a couple weeks later, they were like, even though everybody went to my sister's funeral and everything, and they knew what I was going through, they were like, all right, now that that's over, yeah, we might need you to deploy. And it's like, wow. It's like, wow. So that just added on to the depression. But I think one of my sergeants ended up talking to my commander, and cool black sergeant was like, look, yeah, let's just choose somebody else to go. Let's just, I had already gone twice. So they were like, yeah, let's just choose somebody else to go. This time he's going through a lot. So um, I appreciate him for that, because I don't know if I had to go over there at that time, I don't know how I would have made it.
So you're depressed. You get kind of like some leeway, so they're not gonna send you. They're not gonna send you overseas. They're gonna leave you here. So that's a
Mhm.
lookout. But you're depressed. You're going through a depression in a sense. What is like? What do you? What's your days look like? Like, what's that time look like for you? How are you spending the time?
Uh, just alone, whether alone in my room or just yeah. The majority of time is just spent alone.
Just like just sitting there, or like
Yeah, just sitting there in my thoughts. I mean, I grew up as an only child for a while, so even now I'm just constantly just sit in just quietness and just think. People might think I'm just like dazing, but I people watch and I think. That's what I do. So yeah, during that time it's just a lot of sitting and just watching TV, just not getting out, just staying in the house. It's just, textbook depression.
were you sleeping a lot?
Um Actually I was sleeping a lot. I would just go to sleep to try to, sleep the pain away.
Was anything working?
Nah, man. And in all this time I've actually never told anybody this. I just, trying to just my ego and trying to be the man of the family, just like, because I know all the women in the family, they were going through it. And I figured like, who am I to, I need to be strong for them. It's no time to be weak. But really, I needed somebody else to talk. I needed somebody to talk to.
Forgive this question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. How you still here?
Music, man. Music literally, as cliche as it sounds, man, music literally saved my life, man. Like you said in the song, man, you run to the pen. That 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 is my healing moment. That's my healing. I think I'm still healing. I think we're all still healing deep down. Nobody's, I don't think completely healed. And I think that's why I'm still doing music to this day, man. It's just it's one of my healing mechanisms, man.
Did you have music before that, or music came for you after that?
I did have music before that, but I wasn't really serious about it. And I would do it, but I wasn't really serious about it. And I remember my sister, this is one of the things that stood out for my sister, my little sister. She asked me one day, she was like, "Well, Eric, why you ain't famous yet?" And I looked at her, I was like, I don't know why I'm famous. Well, she was like, "Well, you need to rap so you can be famous. You need to rap more so you can be famous." And I'm thinking like she was 7 years old saying this, and I'm like, you know what? You're right. I do need to rap more. I do need to work more if I want to, reach my goal. I need to work at it. So, um, after she passed and after that whole depression, um, after I went through the depression, I just started working hard in my music, man, and getting real serious about it. And I even wrote a song on one of my first mixtapes. It's called Therapeutic Music, where I kind of like, write about the whole situation with my sister passing and, um, seeing the pain of my mother and stuff like that.
Projecting, but asking anyway. I'm projecting, but I'm asking anyway. At any point, did you feel checked on?
um, Honestly, no. I didn't really have anybody to. I mean, I had my boys I grew up with, but like I said, I was in North Carolina, um, and we were young at the time. Nobody taught us how to, you know, uh, be there for a friend during a when a family member passes. Nobody They don't teach that in school on what to do, at least not at that time. So, I mean, they supported me the best way they knew how, but it wasn't really what I needed. And then, like I said, my family, they were going through it as well. So, but no, I don't think I was checked on like how I should have been.
Has that time period, that alone, that being alone, not really being checked on, has that affected relationships for you? Not just like romantic relationships, but just like relationships with people.
Um, yeah, kind of. But like I said, I was the only child, and growing up with single women, I just always felt like the loner, even as a child.
Yeah.
So I was real independent. I entertained myself. Yeah. So it's been like that since I was young.
Can you tell us more about the kind of part?
What do you mean? When I was
You
young?
said, yeah, kind of. When,
Oh, when they kind of checked on me.
well, when I actually did it affect the relationships for you? And you said, yeah, kind of.
Oh, yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Today I'm kind of you know, my my family will tell anybody that Eric's quiet, he's to himself, but I think I think it stems from stuff that happened in my childhood, me feeling like I've been neglected since my childhood, and then that ordeal with my sister. So yeah, I think it has kind of led into relationships today. But I did actually it was a couple years ago. I started seeking therapy, and that actually helped mend some heal some of the relationships, or the some of the animosity, built up animosity I had towards some of my family members. But
What did therapy help you discover about it?
um therapy once basically helped me discover that nothing's wrong with me when I want to be to myself. There's nothing wrong with that. The therapist said he called it what did he call it, like recharging. I have a recharging period. Because when my friends will tell you I'm like the life of the party when I hang with my friends, but when I'm with my family, when I come home, I'm just kind of like chill. And my therapist was like, "Oh yeah, that's like you're recharging. Your recharging moment is when you come home and you're kind of to yourself, because you're recharging from, I guess, being an extrovert out in the public."
Yeah, did you
Um,
before that time in therapy? Did you think something was wrong with you?
uh, yeah, kind of, sorta, because my dad is quiet too. Me and my dad are kind of like, it's kind of, he doesn't really say too much. Um, he's just quiet. But sometimes it's kind of like I'm more active with my friends than I am with my actual family. But again, I think that has something to do with the way I grew up in my childhood.
It sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's a sense of freedom with your friends.
Yep.
And
So it's like,
it sounds like your family to you is always connected to responsibility.
kinda. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. But it's something I definitely it's gotten way better than it used to be. Especially when I was in the military, is like when my first base was Japan. I didn't really talk to anybody, none of my family. I talked to them like every like 3 months,
Mm.
stuff like that. So it's definitely gotten better now. I realize that what's in the past is in the past. You know, my mom was young; she was still trying to figure it out. Our parents didn't really have the resources like we do, where we can go on YouTube, or we'll see stuff on Instagram, like little quotes and stuff that actually trigger our way of thinking, and thinking maybe it is a different way to parent, or maybe this isn't the right way to parent. you know, with our parents, I just think they were just kind of like just winging it, you know. But my mom did apologize. She did apologize to me. We had a long talk, and she apologized, and she understood, that she said maybe there was some things she could have done better when I was growing up. So that's really all I wanted to hear. And me and my mom, we're at a good place now.
Dope. Dope. Congratulations on being able to reestablish and restore.
Yeah, thank you.
And you said your sister passed in 2006.
2005.
Uh,
Yep.
so that you would have been what, 19, 18, 19, 20, you said 22.
20. Yeah,
And your sister was how old?
7.
Okay. Charades. You said it, so now I get to use it. Unless you tell me not to use it. There's obviously some disconnect between you and your mother growing up.
Hmm.
However, she was operating in that space of motherhood that left some disdain on you. Did you see her correcting that with your little sister?
Yeah, I did. I did.
And how did that sit with you?
It didn't really affect me too much. I just kind of figured that, because she had me when she was 19, so she's still a kid, and when she had my sister, she was way older, so you know, I didn't really think too much. I didn't. There was no animosity like, oh, you treat her way better than you treated me. It was none of that. Um, by the time my sister was that age, I was already out the house, so I really didn't. It really didn't affect me like that.
How did it affect you to see your mother, to see the effect on your mother when your sister passed?
Oh man, it hurt. Yeah, it hurt real bad. Especially she passed away. She drowned in a swimming pool. They revived her, and then they took her to Children's Hospital. She was at Children's Hospital in D.C. for maybe like 5 or 6 days, and she died on the 6th day. But we were there, so we were there to see her flatline, and just to see my mom. I can't get that image out of my head. To actually see my mom actually go crazy by her bedside, to actually watch her daughter flatline on that bed, that's probably one of the worst images I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I've seen something similar.
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't forget it.
right. And it's nothing you can do about it, which is it's absolutely nothing you can do about it. And I remember when I got a phone call. We were in the cafeteria when they said, they were losing her. And I remember, getting on the elevator, and I was pressing the elevator, like the buttons, like really hard, like, come on, I need to get up there. And there was this lady, I don't know who she was, just random lady in the elevator. She was like, calm down, baby. You know, it's going to be what it's going to be. Just calm down. And at the moment, I just looked at her like, what? But now that I think about it, she was right. It's nothing you can do. When it was her time to go, it was her time to go. There was no more suffering, you know?
It's tough.
Yeah, it is tough.
What's also tough to me, it appears tough to me, and you can give us insight if you like, is you're watching the mother who obviously you've had some, we said this earlier, some difficulty with in terms of how she raised you.
Hmm.
Start to self correct and get it right with your little sister. But you're watching your mother
Yeah,
at the point that your sister transitions, you're watching your mother lose herself.
yep,
I can imagine, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I can imagine there was something in you that was like, I'll never have a mother like I can, and maybe not never, but I can imagine there was something to you that was just like, yeah, I ain't got no mama no more. I'm the man. Like it's on me.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to admit, but yeah, that's the truth, man. Like I said, me and my mom, we have a good relationship now, but once you lose, I mean, I have two boys, and I couldn't imagine losing one of them. For people that have lost their child, there's nothing you can say to to know how they feel. I couldn't imagine that. So yeah, my mom, she was never the same after that.
And what's the
So,
what's the dynamics of you and your mother's relationship now? Is it like there's a lot of curiosity for me because this story is like deep and it's
mhm.
like I wonder what's the relationship between you and your mother now. Is it like a father son father? I mean, not father, but like mother son relationship? Is it more of like a like describe it?
No, it definitely is like a mother son relationship. She's like my biggest supporter now. She's the first to repost my music. Like I got nominated for a Whammy this year. She wanted to come. I was like, "Ma, you don't need to come." She's like, "No, I'm coming. I'm coming to the Whammies. You got nominated." And yeah, she's just my biggest supporter. From what I went through a divorce 3 years ago. She was right there, and she was right there when I needed her. So and she helped me through that. So yeah, it's definitely a mother son relationship now. And I think that just comes with her getting older and, yeah, just getting older.
What put you in a place to be able to receive that?
Like I said, music and just therapy helped, and I read a lot of books. My favorite book is The Four Agreements. One of the agreements is, never take anything personal. I live by all four agreements to this day, man. So anybody that recommends, that needs a quick read, because it's a real quick read, you can probably read it in a day. The Four Agreements is definitely the book to read, and it definitely helped me a lot. Um, and I do a lot of meditation. Um, Even though I do hip hop music, I don't listen to a lot of hip hop music. I listen to a lot of R&B, and I can actually see the way I move in everyday life changing because you listen to aggressive hip hop music. Now I listen to the hip hop and trap music when I'm in the gym because that's the time to be aggressive. But just in everyday life, chilling in a house or driving to work or just driving to somewhere like an event, I'm R&B all day.
I can agree. I'm not necessarily R&B all day. I might be. I spend a lot of my time listening to certain select artists on repeat.
Mm,
And I got like playlists that I listen to on repeat. But I don't listen to a whole lot of hip hop, normal hip hop artists. Also, you mentioned the book Four Agreements, so I wanted to give people that book, right? Four Agreements. It's one of my favorite books too,
yeah.
by Peter Coyote. Uh,
Hmm.
Super dope. Um, so there's a transition point for you, and I'm listening to your story, right? I'm trying to figure out what is the transition point for you. Like, what is the point where you start to come out of that depression? Like, how did you manage to get back to your normal self?
Um, Actually, to be honest with you, probably not. It wasn't until I actually got a divorce is when I moved out the house and I actually, kind of uh, moved into my own place, had time to be with myself, with my own thoughts, and catch up on a lot of reading and um, realize what my flaws are and work on those. So yeah, I would say probably like what 5 years ago,
Hmm.
2018.
We about to tap into that too. I just want to make a correction. Full Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz,
Right, 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 right.
audio book, which is narrated by Peter Coyote. And I was trying to do it real quick, but it's Don Miguel Ruiz who's the actual author of it. Um, so you get your divorce, and your divorce catapults your healing process.
It does, man. Because I got in a relationship. I was still young. We had a son, my oldest son, probably 2, 3 months within the relationship. Got married. I had another son. So it just everything happened all quick. And it was kind of like, I was family man, instant family man, not instant family man, but family man thing came quick. And, I was busy being a dad and I kind of fell back from music. Um, yeah, kind of lost myself a little bit.
I was about to say it, and you said it. I was about to say, "Oh, you lost yourself," and you like, "Yeah, I kind of lost myself a little bit."
Yeah.
It also sounds like this transition from being a single man who was really getting some yams, ended up with a child,
Hmm.
was the marriage
Tried to do the tried to do the right thing, so got married.
pull-out game week, so you had another one.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, see, I got some
uh,
friends who are watching this live, so they're gonna laugh because pull-out game week. Um, so you get another one.
hmm.
There's something standing out to me here, though, and the thing that's standing out to me is the how quickly you were able to move into I'm gonna be a family man.
Yeah, I wasn't healed yet, and my mom has said that she was like, you got in that marriage, and you were still hurting. I was.
Because it sounds like to me the willingness to take on the responsibility was
Hmm.
what you were used to anyway, especially since you've had to
Yeah,
carry this responsibility, sister and everything. Like there's a I've had to carry this
yeah,
responsibility that's strong enough for you to be able to just transition into responsibility. But the unhealthy coping habit of just being quiet doesn't lend to being able to go into a
mhm,
relationship and lead from a transparent, vulnerable, communicative, I'm actually going to let you help place. Because you're alone.
yep.
You're alone.
So that was a big issue during the marriage is
Okay.
communication.
I can
That was a huge issue.
from everything you're telling me, I can imagine. I don't know her, but I can imagine her wanting to talk, and you.
Yeah, yeah. It's not a good thing. Yep, not a good thing.
So you get the divorce, you start therapy. What got you to go to
Hmm.
therapy? What pushed that for you?
Well, it actually started with us trying to reconcile. Initially, trying to reconcile. Um, we got with his name's Dr. Peralt. He's got an office in Greenbelt. Real good therapist. He specializes in black marriages, but he also does individual counseling too. So he was really good, man. He told us, but at the end of our counseling, he was like, you know what? Maybe you guys should work on co-parenting because when he said that, I was like, oh yeah. I said, yeah, he's real. He's a real deal. So after that, during our separation, I decided to go to him individually, and definitely helped, man. He's so good that I actually paid for my mom and my aunt to go to him uh, for counseling as well.
Hmm. Then you use it. You said you use the words during your separation.
Yeah, during the separation. So in the state of Maryland, you got to be separated for a year before the official divorce. Yeah.
And what do you safely feel like communicating to us that therapy helped uncover for you? Other, because you
Um,
said a little bit earlier, you said that one thing it uncovered for you was that, and I want to acknowledge that we heard you. One thing it uncovered for you that your quietness, your alone time was your recharge time.
mhm.
Um, but what did you hear that has helped you grow, or that you know that you've had to heal or move past?
um, that's basically the issues with my mom. Um, I think that's where a lot of my issues stem from, my childhood. And he said once that's fixed, yeah, a lot of stuff will be resolved. So I think that's where a lot of my issues came from. Just my issues growing up, even some few issues I've had with my dad, and just not really communicating how I felt back then. Because like you said in the song, as men, we're told not to show any emotion. Just whatever you feel, just keep it in. You, however you fix it, you fix it on your own. So just having a therapist, just kind of having that non-biased opinion. Somebody that's gonna tell you, nah, you kind of wrong on this, or yeah, I see where you're coming from. But just somebody to listen. I don't think I really had anybody to listen before.
I mean, it makes sense. You, why would you talk if you ain't had nobody to listen?
Exactly. Yep.
There's so many layers here, Eric, and I can see all of the layers, and I'm trying to figure out which ones I want to hit because we got time. You're an effective communicator. You say what you need to say, but you don't draw it out. So we got time, and because we got
Mhm.
time, I'm like, which layers do I want to hit? Because one layer for me that I want to kind of hit with you, if you're willing to go there with us, is I want to know if post therapy you've moved into a space where, though you're probably still quiet,
Mhm.
that there's a intentionality of communication with those who you are in relationship with.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's gotten way better than when I used to, from what it used to be. Before I wouldn't call anybody, I wouldn't talk to people for months. Now I kind of just take the initiative, like I need to call, just even if it's just to say, hey, what's going on? What you doing? What's up? And just yeah, kind of make more effort to communicate, and yeah, things like that. So
How does this growth show up in your companionship or more romantic relationship?
well, I'm still working on it. I'm not perfect. So I still have those recharge moments. But it's a work in progress. Um there's times where I don't even feel like talking at all. I just want to chill, listen to music and don't just chill out. And like my therapist said, there's nothing wrong with that. But you got to keep in mind that your partner, how that looks, to them, when your partner's supposed to be your safe haven, and you kind of come home and you're just kind of like shut down. You're not saying anything. It doesn't make them feel the best. So I keep that in mind. And, you know, like I said, I'm a work in progress. So,
All right.
but it's definitely getting better though.
Dope. Happy for you.
Thank you.
I want to ask you something that was asked to me a few years ago that startled me. It shook me a little bit. I think I got teary eyed, but it might have been my allergies. It was dusty. Friends of mine, they asked me, they asked two questions. They asked them in concession. The first one they asked was, who do you call? Who do you call? And you can answer this now if you feel like it. Who do you call when you're going through a difficulty now?
um, it depends on what it is. Um, if I just need like some life advice, um, it's funny because right now I'm that go to friend. So all my friends call me when they, they have issues and they kind of like vent to me, which is crazy. Um, but for me, it would probably be, my girl first, um, and then probably my best friend that I grew up with. So depending on what it is, what the issue is.
Cool. Second question: who do you call to celebrate with when something good happens in your life, or when you have one of them good moments? Who do you call to celebrate?
Definitely my girl. She's my first one. She's the first one I call. She's definitely the first one I call. And then probably my mom, and then my best friend. Um, those are the ones that, which is crazy because my girl, my mom, and my best friend are all Cancer signs. So I don't know if it's a Cancer thing, but it's like those are the ones that kind of give you that reaction when you tell them good news. It's like, oh wow, you did what? Oh, congratulations. Outside of that three, if I tell anybody else, they're kind of like, oh yeah, that's good.
That's what's up.
you know.
That's what's up.
So I don't know if it's a Cancer thing or
What are you?
I'm a Leo. What's your sign?
Capricorn.
Oh, okay.
But I got a lot of Leo friends.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Um, Cancers are Care Bears, man.
They are.
They
They are.
they be like heart.
But loyal though, man. Loyal and will ride for you.
Uh,
Yeah.
there's a study, man. Somebody did. They did a. It's a study on all of the serial killers in America over a period of 50 years, and,
I saw that.
and like their zodiac signs.
Yeah. I think what was it? Was Pisces?
I think
I
it
think
was
Pisces
number three. I
or
think
Gemini.
was Sagittarius. Number
Okay.
two was Scorpio, and number one was Cancer. Cancer is
Oh wow.
most the number
Somebody
one
put that
serial killer
Capricorns.
was the Cancer,
Wow. It's
and
because they love hard, man, and you play with their heart.
it says that the motive for the majority motive in most of those cases was jealousy.
Mm, wow.
I don't know if that has anything to do with the cancers in your life, but
Nah, nah. Cancers in my life, they all ride or die, man.
yeah,
And if somebody, does any type of harm to me, they riding. they riding hard.
yeah.
So
Curtis Jackson is also a Cancer.
yep. Curtis Jackson, Kevin Hart. Yeah, it's a lot of cancers. Famous cancers.
Well, it seems like you definitely greatly benefit from these cancers being in your life. I wanted to know because you know they asked me those two questions, right? Like who do you celebrate with? Who do you call when you have difficulty? And at the point when they said who do you call when you have difficulty, I was like nobody, and I was fine with that. I was like nobody. Yeah, I
Hmm.
mean I'm good. People call me. But
Hmm.
when it was like who do you call to celebrate with, my answer was also shit, nobody. And then it hit,
Wow.
and that's why it really messed with me because I was like, damn, like I don't even celebrate nothing in life. I don't have no
Oh,
moments of celebration. And what it did for me, it helped me see that like my level of community was lacking because I didn't let anybody share in anything with me.
that's exactly how I was, man.
Yeah,
I used to be the same way.
yeah.
I used to keep stuff. I used to get like all types of awards when I was in the military, and I didn't really tell anybody because I don't know. I didn't think they cared.
Care and so many other things too, right? We become adults and we realize people got lives. So
Right. Yeah. But that's trauma though, man.
yeah, and I think adult life has taught me that you know you could win today and then turn around tomorrow and be right back in the shits, like
Yep.
right back in the fire. And so
Yeah.
I had developed this thought process that like, man, ain't no such thing as a win because It's just all stepping stones. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but that question, when they asked it that way, allowed me to see that um, it wasn't about, it wasn't necessarily about winning for me. It was about community
Mm-hmm.
and being able to have people in your life who can share those experiences. So that when I'm listening to you talk tonight, um, that's why I'm being very clear when my questions are not just about you, right? I'm like, it's a little bit, I'm projecting a little bit, but then not just about
Mm-hmm.
you. 'Cause I think when we have conversations like this, we get to see mirrors in a sense
Yep.
um, of improvement.
But you definitely need to celebrate, man. You definitely need to celebrate when in any achievement you get. You definitely need to celebrate, man.
I kind of do internally. Yeah, I kind of
Nah,
do internally. I don't necessarily do it outwardly because I'm also a Capricorn. I am a master strategist.
right.
So my plan may be to reach this thing, but there might be some incremental things along the way that help us see that we on the goal. But I can't. It's like my daughter had eighth grade prom Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody was like, "Yo, I know you super excited, eighth grade prom," and I'm like, "What I'm excited for? Niggas, eighth grade. It ain't the 12th grade. It ain't the end." Like I'm happy for her that she having the moment. She gonna get the moment. But am I super? I don't have no super excitement for that because to me, eighth grade is like incremental. It's not the goal. And
But who's to say that we're gonna see those moments though?
yeah, I mean nobody can guarantee that, right? We can't guarantee that.
That's why we celebrate, man. Celebrate it, bro.
I hear you.
Hey, next time you get an achievement, hit me up, man. Text me like, "Hey, Eric, I did this. We gonna celebrate. I don't care how small it is,
Yeah, I
how
hear,
big it is. We gonna go out and celebrate."
I hear you.
I'm serious. I'm serious, bro. I'm serious. No matter how big or small it is, man, you definitely need to celebrate those moments, man, and document because life is short, man. You and I both know that. I'm sure you've lost people we thought was gonna be here 5 years from now.
Yeah, but now we're moving past the Heal Me campaign now. Yeah, I didn't ask enough questions. I think we didn't delve into your life or not. I think we just conversed. It's cool because we got time. We got 7 minutes, so we'll finish up good. But I think, man, I've also gotten to a place where like I understand life
hmm
and I understand death, right? And I have no fear of either, right? I have no fear of like living life to the fullest, nor do I have any fear of the day that I gotta go. Um, and so for me, it's just one of those things where it's like all of this shit be feeling like a test. It all be feeling like a test, and it all be feeling like a video game. There's a saying that I love that says, "O Yaladina Amanu, O those who believe, life and death are but a test for you to see which of you is best in conduct." I
hmm
connect that thought process to the poem "If" by Rudyard Kipling, which says, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat both of those imposters," and that language is very integral, right? If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same, it tells me
hmm
that this kind of thought process is like success is an imposter and failure is an imposter. So if both success and failure are imposters, like which one are we striving? Are we striving for success? Are we striving for failure? Like which one we doing? It's like, nah, you're striving to learn to be consistent and unwavering, regardless of what happens in your life. Your truest test as a human being is that all of this is a test for you to see who can show up consistently in love, regardless.
Right.
Which is why I don't necessarily let wins drive me too far left on the, nor do I let L's drive me too far left or right. Right. I don't let wins drive me too far right. I don't let L's drive me too far left. It's
Right.
just like all praises to the most out of that I got breath to keep doing it. Let's get back.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? Let's get back to it.
I understand. Yeah, I understand that. Well, on your test, man. On your test, and get any of those achievements, just remember what I said, man. Hit me
Hit
up.
up, hit up.
It's cool to celebrate. Take a quick moment. We ain't got to indulge in the celebration, but
Well,
you know.
I tell you what, man, I celebrate being able to do work. So Mo sent me a whole catalog for real.
Oh, since you
She sent me the whole catalog,
oh, I appreciate that.
and
Appreciate Mo.
let's work, man. Let's do some work, man.
Oh, definitely, man. We got the same engineer. It's already there. Last time I saw Mo at the studio, and he was like, "Yeah, y'all would definitely sound good on the song
Oh
together."
my dude,
Just from talking to you, we already on the same wavelength, man. So we definitely see eye to eye on a lot, and yeah, we can do that.
yeah, man. Let's do it before we get up out of here. Um, I will say this too. There's only a few artists in the DMV that I feel like I really relate to. I love the DMV scene and what's happening right now and the growth that's happening. And I love all the artists, but there's only a few artists that I feel like I relate to. And a smaller number. I think my boy, he's on right now watching the Spike New is one of those. I rock with him. Nucci is one of those. My boy
Oh,
EY. EY,
Nucci is fire.
yeah,
Nucci is
he
fire.
giving it. He giving it to the world. My
Hmm.
boy EY, Eddie Young, who used to be with the Future Band, is definitely a artist I respect in that lane. Rada MC, I ain't seen nothing from her in a minute, but I love Rada stuff. And there's a few others. So, if anybody catches this, then I apologize for those who get mentioned. But there's some artists in the DV I rock with. But like when Mo sent me your stuff, I was like, nah, I fuck with him.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, so you can build, bro. Let's do your peace, power, and purpose, man. Well, no, before we do that, no, we're gonna do peace, power, and purpose first. So I'm gonna ask you those three questions. Whatever comes to mind first, however your response is, give it to us. When do you feel most peaceful?
In the studio.
When do you feel most purposeful?
In the studio.
And when do you feel most powerful?
In the studio.
My man said, music saved my life. Good title of that too. Man, imagine somebody, man, imagine a brother who's currently experiencing what you experiencing, uh, and just
Mhm.
going through the motions, man. Say something to him. Tell him something.
I say, try to seek therapy any way you can. Um, it's not you won't be seen as weak. You'll actually be seen as strong. If you got somebody in your life that you feel you can confide in or talk to that person, but definitely just communicate, release your emotions. If you gotta get a pen and pad to release your emotions that way, do it. But just sit still and just hold everything in because it's only going to damage you along later. So definitely find somebody to talk to and yeah, take it day by day.
So, well, there it is, people. Listen, another night of the Heal Me campaign, brotherly conversations, where we talk to Black men about the challenges and difficulties they faced and how they got through it, and been able to return to a place of peace, power, and purpose. I'm Yusha Side, recording artist, motivational speaker, master certified life coach. This has been our guest for the night, Eric Gerard. We appreciate you again, bro. Thank you for tapping in and sharing your story. You told
Appreciate
us
you.
tonight, all right, you told us tonight that you shared some stuff that you haven't shared before. So we appreciate that level of vulnerability.
Mhm.
And look forward to see more of you out in the world, maybe even on a record. You see what I'm saying? That's how we're gonna do it.
Definitely.
But we thank everybody who's tapping in and following and for the comments and just being a part of this. For those who are here tonight, there is one more night tomorrow for the month of May. It will be me. I will be accompanied by my line brother, who will take the place that I normally take in questioning me, and I'll be answering questions. So y'all make sure y'all tune in tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, because I'm gonna give y'all some stuff that y'all may not know about me and what I dealt with over the last couple of years. But Eric, we appreciate you again, bro.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right, bless us.